So today our topic is rotational mechanics. Rotational mechanics. So suppose we are having a block. Here we are taking a block like this way, okay, and suppose and it is made of obviously so many particles. So it is 1, 2, 3 and corresponding m1, m2, m3 like that. So and each one is having velocity here v, right? So what will be the kinetic energy? Kinetic energy will be, we know it's very simple. It's 1 upon half into m1 v square plus half into m2 v square plus half into m3 v square. So we can write this one like m1 plus m2 plus m3 v square. Again we can write here like mi, right? So this quantity is what we know, this is the total mass. So further we can write this one like half mv square. This is obvious, we know it, that kinetic energy of a moving object is half mv square. But suppose we are having here a fan. Let's take a fan or any object, it is revolving and this is the rotational axis, right? So it is moving like this way, rotating, right? So what will be kinetic energy of this moving object? How to find out? Can we write the same way here? Because here if particle 1 is here and particle here, it is made of particle, so many particle again here. So it is here, this is 1 v1, suppose this is v1 and this is v2, 2 particle, this is v3, like that. So this is m1, m2, m3, right? So what will be the individual kinetic energy of individual particles? So it will be, we know that half of m1 v1 square, similarly half of m2 v2 square, half of m3 v3 square, right? It will not be, v will not be same, right? Because if it is moving with omega, then kinetic energy will be here. Again we can write this one, and that half of m1 omega 1 r1, because v is equal to omega r. So here plus half of m2 omega 2 r2 whole square plus half of omega 3 m3 omega 3 omega 1 omega 2 omega 3 same. So right, so further we can write this one, simplify half of omega square, we can take common because omega square is everywhere. So we can write here m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square plus m3 r3 square plus like that. Okay, so this quantity we can see that this quantity, right? Here a separate quantity half omega square, this is constant, right, for a given omega. So this quantity we will define like this way. Again we can write here half omega square mi ri square. Okay, so this quantity we can define as moment of inertia. This quantity, this we will call I. So further we can write like this one is half into I omega square, right? So this we will call moment of inertia. Moment of inertia. So now we can compare. It's a kinetic energy for translational. So here it is translational. and this is rotational motion. If we compare here, it is here half mv square and it is half I omega square. Now again, we know that there is we can compare again here. Suppose we are having it is a rotational motion here, and suppose this is s, this is theta. Okay, so can we compare translational and rotational? Rotational motion, here it's s, here it will be theta, here it's v, here it's omega, here it's a alpha. Then further we are having here one new term we have defined here. This is m. Then here inertia term is I. Okay, so this is a new term, and what does it say? It gives us information. We can see that it gives us information about how the mass is distributed along the rotational axis. It's not about only mass. Here it's only mass, but here it's what is the mass as well as how the mass is distributed along the rotational axis. Okay, so so now we will go into derivation. We will derive for a continuous body, and we will see that how to find out moment of inertia for a continuous object. So we can write here moment of inertia I, right? So I, we know what we have derived. I is equal to mi ri square, right? So suppose we are having here rotational axis is this one, and this is mass m. This is o dash, rotational axis, and here this is series at a distance of r. So what will be I o dash will be simple m into r square, right? So is it clear? So this gives us information about about mass, how mass is distributed along the rotational axis. Okay, so let's take one example here of continuous system, like a rod. We are having a rod of length L, and it is obviously center of mass here, it's uniform, center of mass is here. We want to find out moment of inertia of this rod. Okay, so it is having length L, length is L here. So how to find out I for this one? We have to find IO, okay, or ICM. Here this is center of mass. So what we will do here, we will take it's a continuous system, right? So we will take at a distance of x, we will take dx, right? And so what will be the di for this one? And di will be dm into x square, right? So what will be dm in terms of dx? In terms of dx, what will be dm? If mass is L, for L length mass is m. So for unit length m by L. So for dx length it will be m by L into dx. So again we can write here di as m by L x square dx. Okay, so we can integrate it now because we have to take it for the whole system here. So it can be here minus L by 2 to L by 2. So further we can write here m by L is the constant here, and if you will integrate, it will be x cube by 3. So it will be minus L by 2 to L by 2. So we can see here ml 3L, because 3 we will take here, and it will be L cube by 8, right? So it will be L cube by 8 and minus L cube by 8. So we can see that m by 3L into L cube by 4. So it is ml square by 12. So we have found for a continuous object, continuous body, solid rod, moment of inertia about center of mass, but it is ml square by 12. Okay, so suppose we again we want to find out about this one, this axis one end, then we have to integrate from 0 to L. Okay, so similarly we can find out for the sphere, for shell and disk. So I'm writing here the moment of inertia for different object. For here this is for rod ml square by 12. For disk it is ml square by 2. Ring ml square. Disk it is mr square. This is mr square by 2. Then we are for cylinder also, for solid cylinder, okay. Then we are having sphere 2 by 5 mr square. Okay. So all these things we can derive, right? But now we will take one question and see that how moment of inertia affects the kinetic energy, total kinetic energy. Okay. So now we will take one question here. We are having this is, suppose here ring, then or we can call it here, we can call it hook because it's a hook. Then we are having here disk and sphere. So three objects, hook, disk and sphere, with the same mass. Mass is m, radius is r, is left here, okay, with obviously zero velocity here, and from a ramp we have to find out which one will reach here first and what will be their velocity. So we have to find out one, two, three, which one will reach first, whether it will hook, disk or a sphere. Okay, it's obvious. Do you think it's obvious? Let's see here, we will find out. So what will be the kinetic potential energy here? Potential energy will be, we know that the potential energy here, potential energy at point 1, it will be mgh, right, because it's h. And at this point, bottom point here, what will be the kinetic energy? Half of mv square plus half of I omega square. Right? So it's a half of mv square plus half of omega square, and it will be, then we can write here half of mv square plus half of square by r square. You can write because omega is equal to v by r. Okay, this one. So further we can simplify here. Half of mv square we can take common. So 1 plus I, it will be mr square, right? So mgh, mm will go. So here we can write again v square will be 2gh upon 1 plus I ms square by r square, right? So see, if suppose it's object is like solid object and it is not like moving, then it will be simple v square is equal to 2gh. But if it is having some rotation also, then in this case it will depend on I also. Okay, so for first case, let's see for who. I is equal to mr square. So what will be v square? 2gh 1 plus mr square by mr square. So it will be 1, right? It will go. So it will be 2gh by 2 equal to gh. So this will be v equal to root over gh. Second case, disk. In case of disk, I will be half of mr square, right? So in this case, what will be happen? V square will be root of 2gh divided by 1 plus mr square by 2 mr square. So this will be 2gh 3 by 2. So further we can write here 4 by 3 gh. So we can write v is equal to root over 4 by 3 gh. And what about third case? Sphere. For the case of a sphere, I is 2 by 5 mr square. So in this case, again we will use the same expression here. Here we can write v square is equal to root 2gh 1 plus 2 by 5 mr square by mr square. So it will be 2gh 7 by 5. So it will be 10 by 7 gh. So further we can write here v is equal to root over 10 by 7 gh. So now we can see for this case here, case number 2 we are having for case number 2 we are having here, and case number 1 this is for ring, this is for disk, and this is for sphere. Okay, so obviously we can see that a sphere will be having the highest velocity, disk will be next, and the lowest velocity of the ring. So here number 1 will be a sphere, here number 2 will be disk, and number 3 will be ring. Okay, so we can see here how I changes the kinetic energy proportional ratio of the kinetic energy, right? Here you can see that ratio of kinetic energy for the rotational part is highest, right, in this case. So in this way we can summarize that importance of moment of inertia. Okay, thank you.